Hey guys, I'm Duncan Wilson.
And I'm Syed, and you're listening to the Mortgage Sweet Spot Podcast, proudly presented to you by Mortgage Suite.
This podcast is your go-to source for expert insights, innovative strategies, and the latest mortgage trends to help you make the most informed decision regarding your mortgage financing. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a seasoned real estate investor, or maybe somewhere in between, you've come to the right spot.
So sit back, relax, and get ready to discover your mortgage sweet spot.
So today we have Chris Anemaet. That's how you say his name. He said it's Anna like the girl, Matt like the boy. I've been calling him Chris Anemaet the whole time.
That's what I've been calling him too.
Straight up, yeah, wrong name there. But anyways, guys, Chris came in to talk today about networks, the benefits of networks. Maybe look at some commission discussions, things like that. We'll keep it short and sweet like we always do. I'm Duncan Wilson. And then obviously my right-hand man over here, Sasha.
What up?
And then Chris, the regional manager? Or
Regional manager for Southwest Ontario. So from everything basically west of Yonge Street.
So like not the regional manager to the manager, the actual regional manager, right?
We try to limit the number of people in between you and a conversation. But yeah.
All right, so I would say we begin off from you guys love us because we're obviously, free flowing over here. Talk about it. Talk about MI. What's the benefits of the network? What do we do? How do you join the network?
What does MI even stand for?
Invis Mortgage Intelligence. So it's actually two brands, but they both do the same thing.
So then it should be IMI.
Again, the short form, it's kind of important for people to build a brand. Not everybody knows what an IMI is. Mortgage intelligence tends to be more prevalent in the East than it does in the West. Invis has been around a little bit longer in the West, so it's a more identified brand. But generally, for the most part, when we're signing up brokers, it's mortgage intelligence because you don't have to question what it is.
Yeah.
But what a network does, there's a lot. So we are a full service network, just so that's part of our value proposition, which includes payroll, compliance, marketing, all of those things. But in reality, we're a part of a bigger team, which is M3.
Cool.
There are additional brands there, MA and Verico. What we talk about is the strength of all of that volume being behind you. So our job is to take care of you from a compliance standpoint. We don't tell you what to do. We generally will give you all of the options, let you decide when it comes to your operating systems, the way that you run your business. We just make sure that you're compliant and not going to get in trouble with FISRA, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then in situations where you need us to step in, to have a conversation with a lender, as an example. We had a conversation today about your statuses and your compensation and all of those things and your value. So our relationships become your relationships.
Yeah.
And we have the ability to help you.
So when you talk about the different brands, I'm assuming there is other networks out there. We won't mention them, but they obviously have just one style of running their whole network, whereas MI or Invis MI, you talked about Verico, you talked about other ones. I'm assuming that's to fit into the model that a broker or a broker team would want to run through, correct?
I'm not going to lie, that's an oversimplification. They all operate differently.
Yeah.
And no matter who I'm visiting in regards to joining our network, the goal is to make sure that you're not putting a round peg into a square hole. Everybody's needs are different. One of the things I do take pride in, though, is that, and it's cliche, it's kind of, no matter where you are in your mortgage journey, there's a place for you at Mortgage Intelligence. So whether you're an agent...
Say that again, dramatic. Say that again, more dramatic.
Say it with conviction.
Yes. Yeah. No matter where you are in your mortgage journey, there's a place for you at Invis and Mortgage Intelligence. So if you're an agent, a team lead, or a network partner like MPFG, which is what you're a part of, as a network partner, there's some additional things that you can offer to people that are joining your group.
Yeah, it's true. MPFG, obviously, right? They're a network partner within Mortgage Intelligence.
And so to be clear, network partner isn't a term that is sort of universal. It's also another way to say brokerage, right? So
okay. I had a lot of confusion about this when I first started. I never really could differentiate because it seemed like both of the names were like amalgamated. Here, it's like we know we're MPFG, that's our brokerage, right? But because you never really hear MI MPFG.
So again, part of the draw to being a brokerage or a network partner is your ability to build your own identity. Mm-hmm. Which in this case is Mortgage Powered Financial Group, home of Mortgage Powered Financial Group. So you want to be able to put your name out there, your brand out there. You also get a little bit some flexibility with who you get to deal with as lenders. Again, going back to what a network does, we want to take care of you from a compliance standpoint to make sure that you're not doing anything that is leaving you exposed to a possible lawsuit, as an example. But
yeah, because I could say my natural ability is selling, getting mortgages in. You always have to have the overseer, obviously, saying, hey, there's new rules to this situation. You can't do it that way. But I would say for an individual broker, just going direct to a network or working by themselves, it's got to be really hard. Following up on all the new rules, taking on all that compliance, taking on all that risk. It is probably beneficial to go under a network. And obviously, we're not here to talk. We're talking about both contrasts. But what made you take the job? What commission differs in regards to going individual and then going under a network, right? And what can you maybe say to agents that are maybe fence sitting in regards to sitting there going, hey, should I join a network or should I stay on my own? Should I join a team? I mean, that's a lot to talk and unravel, but.
All right, I'll tackle them in order.
Okay, good. I like it.
So why did I join?
Yeah.
I spent a long time on the lender side. So a quick history of Chris Anemaet. Degree in law enforcement, which I completely took a left-hand turn
Me too.
Yeah, so saw some stuff. Didn't decide to go down that road. When you look at divorce rates for law enforcement, when you look at suicide rates for law enforcement, when you look at domestic abuse rates for law enforcement, and for it's rough. It's rough for a reason. It's not an easy job to do. I have all the respect in the world for it.
Yeah.
I just knew that I was growing a family and it wasn't for me. So I took a left turn, started working at City Financial and Household Financial. Wild job, getting paid $35K a year, selling a mortgage at 15% or a personal loan at 30% to somebody that bought a couch a year ago from the brick and selling them monthly interest rates. You took the application, you cold called them, convinced them, took an application, got it approved, brought the clients in, signed them up, cut the check, handed them the check, collected on them if they didn't pay because it would affect your bonus.
Really?
Yeah. So all of that was really good training ground. Eventually from there, I graduated to Exceed Mortgage, B-Crash. I was at Street Capital from basically beginning to end.
Did you exceed at Exceed Mortgages?
I did.
Knowledge?
You know what? Actually, I think... we're in Southwest Ontario. I underwrote for Southwest Ontario at Exceeds. Did the same thing at Street there for a bit. And then when Street ended up going, I spent a small bit of time with Community Trust. And it was time for me to go to this side. So the reason I chose Invis MI was relationships that I had built with Street Capital and with Cam Strong, who was the president at the time, as well as M3, guys like Dino Pangrazio was amazing. I always got along with the group. I always liked the way that they conducted business, which kind of flows into your next question about why should people choose Invis MI? I think was that the next one?
Yeah, why should people choose a network over just individually working by themselves?
Right. So actually that's the better way to put it. How do you choose? And also when you're asking somebody how to decide, sports analogy is treat it like you're a free agent and that every opportunity is out there. So whether it's playing in a specific area that you like, for me though, when you're talking about a network, make sure that the people that you're going to be dealing with on a regular basis, whether it is your RM, that president, that compliance team, the operations team, let's lump them all together, is something that jives with the vibe that you have on a daily basis with your business, more importantly. How present are those people going to be? Are they investing in you the way that you're investing in them?
Points.
I mean, compensation is definitely a part of it. I'm not going to get into specifics, but splits, the teams you're affiliated with, the lenders that you have access to, and then what is all of these networks. I encourage you 1,000% to have conversations. I mean, I don't mind. Go have a conversation. Verico, MA, DLC, have a conversation. Pair them against each other. Make sure you're asking all of the questions because it's your business. And at the end of the day, you don't want to be hopping around. You want to be able to find out what fits for you long term so that you can build a brand with those individuals. But ask all of the questions and then even come back and do a second round. Once you get all of that information, go back to the start and say, you know what? I didn't ask this question, but it was presented before. Do you have this? Do you have that?
Yeah.
Then sit down, look at all of the information, and make the decision that's best for you on the people you're going to be working with, the presence and the reputation of your brand. All of those things should be important to you, 1,000%.
I sometimes flat out say, you're also interviewing me, like as a leader. So I
You didn't say that in my interview. We talked, right? You talked for 45 minutes. I said, I speak French fluently. You speak your French again.
I got better at it since Sash, I believe.
Yeah. That was 4 years ago. It's got some experience now. It was literally the best interview I ever had, though. I left here and I was like, I'm going to sell 1,000 mortgages. I didn't get my first mortgage till 6 months in. But
Nice.
I still felt so amped.
It was the first one of 1,000, though.
Yeah, first one of 1,000. I like that. What were you going to say?
So, like, I don't know if this is a whole nother podcast. Like, maybe we can do an episode, you and I, later about it. But, like, what are some questions somebody should ask? You know, if somebody's considering, should I go to a network?
This is good for you.
Yeah, like, or go to a brokerage. Like, so if I'm going to meet with MI, like, so is it you I would meet with if I was considering going as an
me or
individual
one of my
agent?
counterparts, for
Yeah,
sure.
right? Or if I was going to come and meet Duncan to consider going on a team. What are some questions, a couple or a few, that somebody should ask? Like, what are some important things that they should get from the network and from the brokerage to make a decision?
I mean, it's also part of my job to give you the options, right? So my question is very similar to what Duncan does. Is when you're coming to me, I'm not going to sell you on me first.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know what you want, but not today, not just today. Even give me the possibilities. It's like, to give you a Marvel reference, if you're talking about Doctor Strange when he spaces out and it's trying to figure out all of your possible futures, you need to be doing the same thing. So going back to picking your brand, that something is going to be stable, fits your business plan going forward. The step before that question is sitting down and thinking about yourself. Like, okay, this is where I am today. Maybe your thought process in talking to Duncan is, I want to sell 1,000 mortgages. Part of that also has to be like, he's got a good group of individuals that, you know, there's a wide range of different specialists, whether it's somebody that can do tech, somebody that's really good at planning, somebody that's good at education, but they're all under the same roof. I can go there, take bits and pieces, and then maybe my future is also having a team that's affiliated with the mortgage suite. Mm-hmm. Still a part of them that you're working together. But so as an example, if you're telling me that's what you need, you're likely not an agent that's working independently and maybe pooling volume to ensure that you can get lender statuses and volume bonuses, all of those kinds of things. It's a little bit more difficult to do on your own. Some people are up for it, some people aren't. But the biggest thing for me is for you to tell me what you need and what you might need. And it might even be a short-term stop with us before you graduate to one of our other brands. I'll give you an example. Actually, this was part of our discussion early on. So, like, Duncan, I think you would agree. You went through this process. It's like, I'm going to have conversations with everybody, see what the best fit is.
8 months of research.
I'm hoping I'm not speaking out of school. We can edit it if it's not okay. But there was a part where you were like, you know what? I think there's a possibility for me to go out on my own, be a part of a group like a Verico. Verico is an awesome option if you have that ability. Like, it's a great spot. But you decided that in order, Karen's not on. I'm sure she's been on some of these, maybe. If not, not
that
part out. Terrible.
She will
I'm
be.
the first person who brought this up.
Call her out.
Again, though, but here's the bright side. Here's the pat on the back for you, is that you wanted more involvement from Karen, and to do that, freeing up payroll, compliance, all of those things. So there is a cost to those, but also you took a look at, okay, well, what's the cost benefit here? If I pay for the payroll and compliance, that frees up parts of my staff to be able to focus on things like growth, marketing, education, hunting and gathering. It's giving you more time to hunt and gather and grow the possibility of Mortgage Suite. And that doesn't mean that down the road that Verico doesn't become an option for you in the event that is something. But those conversations that we had were trying to determine your path and possible paths to put you in a spot that hopefully you're happy to be in.
It's a good example, guys. I mean, one day you might, call Chris up and say, what I want is leads. And Chris might say, you should go to Duncan's team because he has a bunch of leads that he can give you. That's just an example. I'm not trying to call ourselves out here as being awesome, but other than that.
It does sound like, though, like if you're going to go to a network, you should probably either have some experience or be super, super motivated to do great.
Well, I think it's always good to be a part of a network, and I get that that's a very self-serving statement based on where I work.
Like if I'm an individual agent, can I join just the MI network as an individual agent if I was a level 1?
Yes.
Oh yeah. So that's what I mean. Like if I'm a brand new agent considering getting into this market, it's probably better for me to join a team that's going to teach me stuff.
And so again, it's going to depend on what that conversation is. And so if you were to say, you know what, I'm comfortable being on my own, I want to suss this out. I want to figure out what it looks like to be on my own and pool volume. You can do that, and it might work, and it has worked. We have a number of individuals that have kind of started there and then just grown their own thing. There are people that don't want that and want to be able to do like a plug-and-play situation to say, like, okay, I want immediate access to everything. And there are benefits to both, for sure.
I would say the market's changed slightly in that regard, too. Like, before, tracking through might have taken a year individually. Mm-hmm. Now I think it's longer. I think you're tracking through, not making as much. It's only my opinion, because
just like when you say tracking through, you mean building up
statuses, getting enough borrowers. Like, we all remember when we first started, it was like MLM. You go to your family and your friends. Hey, you want a mortgage? I mean, it's different M&M because you're not saying you should become an agent too. Yeah. But it's just nowadays with now competition out there. The fact that when you're brand new, you only have so many borrowers. So where do you get these other borrowers from? Where do you learn to turn around quick? Because back then, I'd have a client and I might have a good 3 days to learn what they needed. Nowadays, you got to have that information on hand, instantaneous, because they want it back. Okay, we got to wrap it up. We're being told by Maddie to wrap it up.
Kicking us out, guys. Street lights are on. We got to go home.
Street lights are on. We got to go home.
That's giving that secret whistle. You can hear it.
Now we got to wrap it up. Talk to us quickly. Sell MI to the beautiful viewers here. If you're a new agent, go ahead. Tell us the best.
No, like I said, I think part of it is what we covered. We really want to work with you for the best possible version of yourself now and in the future. Our goal is not to put you in a situation that you're locked into or stuck. That is shown not only in our presence in the marketplace, our initiatives from an education standpoint, but also in our willingness to sit down with you, have the conversation about the right fit, whether it is an individual agent, a team lead, or joining a team like MPFG or the Mortgage Suite to make sure that you're in the best position for success now and in the future. 1,000%. I reach out anytime. I'm happy to help and have conversations, whether it ends up landing with us. And that's something I'm proud of. If I'm happy to have a conversation that puts you in the right place, even if it's not with us.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Thank you, guys. We're going to go eat some Firehouse subs now.
Firehouse, baby.
All right, bye.
Ladies and gentlemen borrowers, thanks for tuning in to the Mortgage Sweet Spot. If you have any suggestions for upcoming episodes or questions for our hosts, me and Sasha, throw them in the comments below.
And if you enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe to our channel on your preferred platform. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or you can check us out on YouTube. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.